Hello to us. Our group is composed of Camelia, Sarah, Nikki, Simon, Ayala, and Mark. So, a quick bit of history. How did we get to our concept? We all separately thought about what we'd like to make for our project. During the second meeting, we explained our ideas to the team. We started voting on ideas we liked, and the idea with the most votes is the one that will be created. So let's talk about that idea. Our project is called Lone Flower. The purpose of our project is to let people keep their distance from other people to avoid spreading the coronavirus. Our target audience is people who use the subway. The government says people should follow the 1.5-meter rule, but it's difficult in some situations, like in the subway. Many people use the subway every day and almost all users are busy, so people tend to ignore the 1.5-meter rule. That's why we decided on the subway users as the target audience. So, how do we manipulate people to keep distance? We project a game on the subway floor from the ceiling by beamer. If people follow the 1.5-meter rule, flowers bloom under their feet. But if people don't follow that, the flowers will wilt and eventually die. No one wants a flower to die. So we manipulate our target audience by using that psychology. And as we said, what the projector projects is changed depending on the people's behavior. This is the hybrid aspect of our project. So, this brings up a few research questions. How could we make this work? We researched how we could use shapes and colors to prime people, so the next time they'll walk through our project, they will be more likely to respond. We did this by researching repetition priming and associative priming. Repetition priming is when a stimulus and response are repeatedly paired. Because of this, people will become more likely to respond in a certain way more quickly each time the stimulus appears. Associate priming is where you use two stimuli that are normally associated with each other, such as cat and mouse. We also looked at games that have built-in rewards based on good behavior, such as Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing. We added rewards to our concept. Individuals that follow social distancing guidelines could be rewarded with something small like a newspaper, a cup of coffee, or tea, or a discount on their next trip. Another point of research was our target audience and location. We sent out a survey about the subway that got 6 responses. We have a mix between qualitative and quantitative data. Notable results for our project is that 60% of people are open to interaction in the subway, and 70% people were more inclined to participate if they got something in return. Main annoyances in the subway include masks not being worn properly, no space to social distance, annoyingly loud people, and trash left behind. On our question about what flowers made them feel in general, participants answered that flowers made them feel happy, calm, and relaxed. We also got information about when they were most likely to use the subway during the day. We also investigated different technologies we could use in our design. For example, we could use an LED floor or LED tile. For our project, instead of a beamer, we didn't end up going for this, because it would be out of scope for our project and too costly. We also researched the beamers. The shadows of a beamer could be immersion breaking. We tested using 2 beamers instead of 1, and that would solve the problem. Another problem with beamers is that the fact you need a very, very strong beamer to make them work in daylight, but it could be done. So, after all this research, let's talk about our prototype. Because of the COVID lockdown, we had to change the scope of the project. Together with the coach, we decided to make a digital prototype in Unity instead of making a physical one. Obviously, people act differently in a digital prototype versus a physical one, and this is something we have to keep in mind with the results. This is our prototype made with Unity. We made a part of a subway in 3D and used AI to make people walk between 2 points. We have 2 prototypes, namely one with 3D flowers and one with 2D flowers. After doing research about how others tackle projects like this, we found out most similar projects work with 3D flowers of photorealistic flowers. We had 2 2D artists and 1 3D artist in the team. Because of this, we had a chance to test if people react more to the 2D or 3D flowers. We sent out the prototype with a survey. We got 9 responses. We have a mix between qualitative and quantitative data. Let's talk about the results. According to the data, most participants prefer to see the 2D flower animation as a projected image in the design. When asked about whether they want to use the design and whether it will help keep distance between people, most people answered yes and maybe. This is because the participants were concerned about the location of the design. If there are a lot of people around, there simply isn't enough space for the projection to show. Another result from the survey is that the design in general is successful in visualizing the distance between people. But we had someone note something interesting about that. Once a flower closes, you don't know the 1.5 meter safe range anymore. In areas of high traffic, this could be a problem. The next iteration of design could highlight where the safe range is, even when the flowers are wilted. In conclusion, the design helped create a unique environment for people in the station. Through our research, we were able to understand what types of priming methods could be used to incentivize people into using our product. Challenges such as limited space and amount of traffic in a station should be considered for the next iteration of design. Different technologies could also be explored, such as LED floors or pressure sensors, or a combination of different technologies to create a more effective design. The user testing provided valuable information into what possible steps could be taken in the next iteration of design, such as research into different areas of the station and other locations where the project could be used. We have a mix between qualitative. We have a mix between fuck. So, how do we manip? Yeah. So, how do we manip? So we manip. I hate that word.